back then, Mark Zuckerberg was jumping in on all this stuff and offering internet service and all this supposed support for the refugees in Syria. And I wrote an article back in September 29th of 2015 about this, about how Facebook's Zuckerberg wants to save refugees with divine internet. And you can read the article and how Zuckerberg was basically saying same thing, basically selling Agenda 2030 back then, guys, and saying how important it was to eradicate poverty by having him come in and set refugees up and others with internet. So a year later, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote an article about this again, talking about Zuckerberg, how Facebook's Zuckerberg is quietly funding Africa's future global enslavement. And ladies and gentlemen, throughout practically all of 2016, this Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, basically declaring himself to be one of the generals of the civil war, this war against nation states and this war against America. And I was warning people then how this guy was taking on the mantle of the New World Order. He's ushering in the New World Order practically single-handedly. So he's setting everyone up throughout Africa with free internet. Because ladies and gentlemen, if you understand Jade Helm and the Jade 2 software and the plans that they have, the ruling elite, these technocratic ruling elites, how they're working together to create a global control grid. I was talking about this over a year ago. This control grid is global, and that's where Mark Zuckerberg comes into play, because you cannot control Africa unless you've got them under your control grid. So they can get all their mainstream media news from Zuckerberg's Facebook, right? So anyway, I was telling everyone then, and how all of 2016, guys, he was all over Africa, flying supposedly on his own money and portraying himself to be this philanthropist, and meeting with the Pope, discussing plans for the New World Order. So why am I talking about Zuckerberg today, my friends? And I'm only saying that because Zuckerberg, here we are in 2017, guys, and unbelievable. Mark Zuckerberg is laying out a vision just a couple days ago, last week, and today is February 22nd of 2017, and so just a week ago, Mark Zuckerberg laying out a vision for the future, and Reuters is reporting here that Zuckerberg laid out a vision on Thursday of his company serving as the bulwark against rising isolationism, writing in a letter to users that the company's platform could be the, quote, social infrastructure, end quote, for the globe. My friends, this is a declaration of war against America and other nation states. And it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to believe this. It goes on here in this Reuters article. In a 5,700-word manifesto, Zuckerberg, founder of the world's largest social network, quoted Abraham Lincoln. Zuckerberg is quoting Abraham Lincoln, my friends. Hint, Zuckerberg is practically telling you this is a civil war. And quoting Abraham Lincoln is a big deal. Everyone should pay attention to this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a civil war, guys. And Zuckerberg is basically telling you it's a civil war. Zuckerberg goes on and says, across the world, there are people left behind by globalization and movements for withdrawing from global connection. So now if you stand for America, you're part of a movement that apparently is against his globalization movement or his agenda. The point of this whole video, people, is that this guy, Mark Zuckerberg, is a traitor. And this is the guy that the globalists have rolled out as the face of the New World Order.